Starting off at number 10, we have Lumberjack Simulator 3D. Most simulator games on mobile tend to be pretty simple. You tap a few buttons, watch numbers go up, and that's about it. This one takes a different approach by making you actually feel like you're building a logging business from the ground up. You begin with almost nothing except a basic axe and a small patch of forest. From there, every tree you cut down requires actual effort. You need to choose where to make your cuts, control how the tree falls, remove branches, and process the wood before it can be sold. It sounds simple at first, but there's something incredibly satisfying about watching your tiny operation slowly grow into a full-scale timber business. The open-world environment also helps keep things interesting. You're not stuck in a tiny work zone. There are large forest areas to explore, resources to manage, and multiple ways to optimize your operation. Breaking into number 9, we have Stunt Paradise. If you've ever enjoyed games like hill climb racing but wish they were bigger, crazier, and far more cinematic, then you're probably going to have a blast here. At its core, this is a side-scrolling driving game, but the level design is what makes it stand out. Every stage feels like an action movie packed into a 2-minute race. One moment you're launching off giant ramps across massive canyons, and the next you're narrowly avoiding spinning saw blades or flying alongside an airplane high above the clouds. The controls are incredibly simple, which makes it easy for anyone to jump in immediately. You only need to manage acceleration, braking, and vehicle balance during jumps. Visually, it also looks fantastic. The colorful environments, dynamic camera angles, and over-the-top set pieces make every run exciting from start to finish. Moving on to number 8, we have Castle Burners. This is one of the more unique multiplayer games released recently because it combines castle building, physics destruction, and tactical PvP into one surprisingly addictive package. Every match puts you against another player in a fully destructible battlefield. Your goal isn't just to defeat enemy units. You can also bring down their entire castle if you're clever enough with your shots. That destructible environment creates a level of strategy that most mobile PvP games simply don't have. Every wall, tower, and support beam can be destroyed. A single well-placed attack can completely change the battlefield and expose opponents who thought they were safely protected. Before each battle, you'll assemble a team of specialized units with different strengths. Some excel at long-range attacks, others focus on demolition, while some are better suited for close-range combat. Coming in at number 7, we have Weltkrieg 1 Firestorm. World War I is a setting that doesn't get nearly enough attention in mobile gaming, which immediately helps this shooter stand out from the crowd. Instead of futuristic weapons or modern military equipment, you'll be fighting with authentic firearms and vehicles inspired by one of history's most brutal conflicts. The result is a slower, more tactical experience compared to many arcade-style mobile shooters. The game features large-scale 10 versus 10 multiplayer battles where teamwork becomes extremely important. Charging into combat without thinking rarely ends well. Positioning, accuracy, and awareness often determine whether you survive or end up back at the respawn screen. One of the coolest features is the inclusion of tanks. These massive machines can completely change the flow of battle and create some incredibly intense moments. Down to number 6, we have OTR 2. The original Off the Road was already one of the most impressive open-world driving games available on mobile, and this sequel takes almost everything that made the first game popular and pushes it even further. Most driving games lock you into a specific type of vehicle or a fixed set of races, but here you're encouraged to explore however you want. One moment you're driving a lifted off-road truck through muddy mountain trails, and the next you're taking control of a boat or even a plane to reach completely different areas of the map. The world itself feels massive. There are forests, rivers, hills, small towns, and hidden locations scattered throughout the environment, giving you plenty of reasons to wander off the beaten path. The visuals have also received a noticeable upgrade. Dynamic weather, realistic water effects, and a full day-night cycle help make the world feel alive. Moving on to number 5, we have Crysis X Max. Mobile survival games are everywhere these days, but very few manage to create a world that genuinely feels dangerous. This one does exactly that. The moment you enter the game, you're thrown into a massive post-apocalyptic landscape where survival is never guaranteed. Resources are limited, enemies are everywhere, and every decision can have consequences. What makes this experience particularly engaging is the variety of threats you'll encounter. It's not just zombies. You'll also face mutated creatures, hostile survivors, environmental hazards, and constantly changing weather conditions that can completely alter your plans. Exploration plays a huge role here. The map is packed with abandoned cities, military facilities, underground bunkers, forests, and remote locations waiting to be discovered. The crafting system is also surprisingly deep. Next up at number 4, we have Pocket Champs. After some of the more intense games on the list, this is the perfect reminder that mobile gaming doesn't always need complicated controls or massive open worlds to be entertaining. At first glance, it looks like a simple, casual racing game, but there's actually a surprising amount of strategy hidden underneath its colorful presentation. The core idea is straightforward. You train your athlete, improve their abilities, and then compete against other players in a variety of obstacle-filled races. The races themselves are mostly automated, but your preparation before each event determines whether you dominate the competition or struggle to keep up. One of the things that keeps the gameplay fresh is the constant variety of race types. Some events focus on running speed, while others introduce swimming, climbing, or unique gadgets that completely change how races play out. Coming in at number 3, we have God Rivals RPG Roguelike. If you're someone who enjoys challenging action games that constantly keep you on your toes, this might be one of the strongest entries on today's list. The first thing you'll notice is the combat. Battles are fast, chaotic, and packed with enemies coming at you from every direction. Success isn't just about having powerful equipment. Positioning, timing, and smart decision-making are equally important if you want to survive. Like any good roguelike, every run feels different. Enemy layouts, upgrades, and combat opportunities constantly change, ensuring that no 2 attempts play out exactly the same way. The progression system also deserves credit. Even when a run ends in failure, you're still making progress through permanent upgrades, new abilities, and stronger equipment. Next up at number 2, we have Knockout 2: Wrath of the Karen. Out of all the games featured today, this is probably the one that surprised me the most. At first glance, it looks like a silly boxing game built around internet humor. And while it absolutely embraces its ridiculous premise, there's actually a very solid fighting game underneath all the comedy. The gameplay takes inspiration from classic Punch-Out style experiences, where victory depends on learning opponent patterns rather than simply throwing punches as fast as possible. Every opponent behaves differently, and success comes from identifying weaknesses, dodging attacks, and striking at exactly the right moment. The progression system adds another layer of depth through equipment upgrades and customization options. Different gear pieces can significantly impact stamina management, defensive capabilities, and overall performance during fights. And finally, at number 1, we have Honor of Kings World. For years, mobile gamers have been waiting to see whether this ambitious project could actually deliver on its promises. Now that players finally have the opportunity to experience it, it's safe to say that this is easily one of the most impressive open-world games currently available on mobile. Rather than following the traditional MOBA formula that made the franchise famous, this adventure takes you into a massive world filled with exploration, combats, quests, and cinematic storytelling. The scale is immediately impressive. Huge environments stretch across the horizon, packed with secrets to discover, enemies to defeat, and characters to meet. Combat is another major highlight. Battles are fast, flashy, and incredibly satisfying. The production quality is also exceptional. From the visual effects and character animations to the cinematic cutscenes and world design, everything feels polished and ambitious. And that wraps up our list. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our future